Peace and greetings. This is the original Titan. We have 12 laws or lords of cosmic energy. Understand that laws and lords are interchangeable, but we want to go over what cosmic energy is because we're made up of it. The universe is made up of it. And a lot of times we can know how to play the game of life a little better if we know what energy we are in. Evolution is the process of release from densification. We're coming out of the dense bodies, densification of everything being so heavy. Not only just the body and the physicality of it, but also the energy of it. We ask ourselves the question, what am I becoming and expressing? We ask those things as we begin to make movements, to evolve, to go out of density into a lighter, much higher vibrational rate. Now, evolution, that the process of is going into further densification, okay? We have to know the difference, the opposites. Evolution and then involution is the process of going into densification, okay? And we ask ourselves, am I stuck in old beliefs or afraid to expand mentally or spiritually? The law of divine oneness states that we are all interconnected through our creation by a creator using the same material. So we come to the law or lord of vibration. The law of vibration states that everything has a vibrational frequency. Every object, every thought, emotion, job, house, friend, movie, restaurant, and we know that. Sometimes we feel it, that vibration, before we get there, or when we get there, we can feel our surroundings of the cosmic energy. How is that energy affecting us? What about the thought? What type of thought can you even tell other people are in? How do we feel about our job, our house, the block that we live on? What is your vibration? Are you feeling vibrations that are harmonious to the dynamics in your life? If something is of a higher vibratory rate, we say that it vibrates quickly. If it oscillates more slowly, we say that it's of a lower vibration or frequency. So the law of vibration teaches us that we all have a vibratory frequency at an atomic level, and we can change our vibration to match the more positive frequencies of things and people around us. And that's the beauty of the law of vibration. Let's look at the law of attraction, the lord of attraction. The law of attraction is the concept of attracting things to yourself. Now, this isn't the same as opposites attract, like magnetism. Here, we are talking about energy. You get what you focus on. You get what you believe you're worthy of. To have the life that we want, we have to become the type of person that attracts those things to ourselves. We have to assume that identity, the identity that we want, because taking on a new identity will change our emotions and our behaviors and our thoughts, changing our lifestyle. We have to ascend to that vibration, there goes that word again, that matches the success we want and tune into that frequency. That's how the law of attraction works. We move on to the law of action. So the law of action requires that we do something. We can't just state, oh, I want that, and then forget about it. We have to do something. We cannot manifest the things we want without taking action. So we have to meet the universe halfway. We are co-creating with the universe, not demanding an outcome. Give yourself permission, though, regardless if the action taken is considered right or wrong. Whether you label it good or bad, it's still a learning process, okay? You will know that you know how to go about it the next time something comes back around and it requires you to have the law of action. You're going to know how to do it. Don't get down on yourself or beat yourself up and say, maybe I'm not doing it right, or maybe it doesn't work for me. All of these laws work for us because we're all a part of it. There is no, it don't work for us. That's false. The law of cause and effect. The law of cause and effect requires that we take ownership over our lives, all of it. If we believe our actions are good, that is what we will get. If we believe they are bad, we get that. How are we perceiving ourselves? So right here in this statement, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. When it comes down to the law of cause and effect, it doesn't matter what husband thinks, what mom, dad thinks, what the children think, your best friend think. It doesn't matter. So who you are is a cause, and the life you have is the effect People claim that the law of cause and effect is closely tied to karma, but not in the sense of good and bad, but in the sense of who you are being. When it comes to energy, there is no good or bad. What matters is the intent behind our actions. We move on to the law of compensation. We like that word, don't we? Compensation. We want to be compensated for what we do. The law of compensation states that what we do affects what we get. We will be compensated for everything that we do, all efforts, all actions, what we say, how we feel. Everything will determine how we are compensated. So we have to become more aware of our own actions, okay? What we're saying, how we're feeling. That's important. How do we feel when we say things? You stop putting heat behind stuff. That's what accelerates it, right? Unfortunately, the law of compensation is where a lot of people lose hope. We expect instant results, overnight success. But if we get what we think is negative results, we get discouraged. Take your time and keep the more evolved actions and efforts going. You will reap what you sow. The law of correspondence. The law of correspondence is ruled by our internal world. As within, so without. As above, so below. We've got that down pat, right? But this law breaks down why it is so important to be consciously aware of what we're allowing around us, because this is impacting what shows up within us. So we may have to declutter by paying attention to what we're eating, what we're mentally consuming, especially off of social media or the television set or any area. It could be the bowling alley. It could be at the pool hall. It could be at the bar. What are you allowing, okay, in your space? Because it's going to impact your inner world. As above, so below. As within, so without. Especially if it doesn't fit the identity that we're trying to create, right? We will have to do the inner shadow work to pull the weeds, so to speak, from around our fertile gardens of creativity. So let's move on to the law of gender. And the law of gender states that we have all the potential to express both feminine and masculine energy because both can be found within us. The feminine stands for the idea that must be pollinated by the masculine, which is the action. Masculine energy is based in knowledge. It is action, logic, practicality, stability, willpower, focus, drive, and clarity. Left brain. Balance is required in order to keep from burning out. Whereas the feminine energy is based on knowing. It is intuition, creativity, passion, nurturing, authentic, open, flowing, dynamic, and perceptive. Right brain. If we are struggling to execute or overcome with emotions of others, we may be tapping in too much of the feminine energy. What is the challenge here in the law of gender? Is to balance both energies within yourself. We move on to the law of polarity. The law of polarity states that there has to be an opposite to everything in our world for the universe to remain in balance. Everything has a duality. If one side has the potential to exist, so does the other. Our mindset is what determines which extreme is delivered to our lives. The law of polarity gives us active choice. The universe operates in the world of is or is not. It is 100% neutral. Okay? It's either is or it's not. For instance, if we are trying to manifest more abundance, the law of polarity determines that we're asking for the entire package, which includes abundance and lack. But the side that is expressed in your life is what you're a higher match for. Therefore, we must be certain and focused on what end that we want to experience. If you're asking for abundance, you can't be thinking lack. You can't be dealing in lack, talking in lack, feeling in lack. You're going to keep giving you lack because it say, okay, that's what it is. Or you can say and start speaking abundance, thinking abundance, planning for abundance, being excited about abundance, living abundance, imagining abundance. And the universe will say, oh, that's abundance, and give you that. And it's not going to give you the lack because that is not. The abundance is. It's either is or it's not. It's not no middle ground with the law of polarity. Because it's not going to just say, oh, she don't want no or he don't want no lack. He really want abundance. He said abundance. But then it's going to look at that energy of what you're pushing out, what you're living, what you're speaking, what you're talking. That's what it's going to go by. It don't go by no words. The words is for us to get our mindset right. Then we go to the law of relativity. The law of relativity states that every person will experience challenges as an opportunity for growth, to strengthen our characters. We can think of the law of relativity as a reality check. Now, right away, I know that the law of relativity is not a favored law by anybody. Nobody wants to go through experiences and challenges. Nobody wants to, we want to be strengthened. We want to grow, but we all the time don't want to go through those challenges. But that's all a part of growing up on planet Earth, growing into our godhood all the way, okay? This unpopular law states that at multiple points throughout our life, we will have an experience that will test us. And we all know that. It might test our character, our integrity, our kindness, our honesty, stamina, values. It could come from anywhere to test an issue that we either need to master or heal in this lifetime. How we show up and how we respond to these hard experiences will determine whether or not we're able to move on to the next thing, or if we need to repeat the same lesson again in another form. That's just like a woman dating the same deadbeat kind of guy. Different face, different time, same guy. Haven't learned the lesson from it. But once she learns the lesson from it, then the better type of guy will appear. And that goes for the guys, for as far as women coming. You know, make the same mistakes. Keep getting the type of women who just run through all of your money, run through your credit, run through everything. Just take everything, take, receive, and then don't give you any attention that you really want and that you need. So we come to the law of perpetual transmutation. I like the way this looks with all of the molecules and things on there, just like a chemist, and that's what we are by nature. Alchemy. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy states that energy is constantly moving, transmuting, transferring, and it is always in motion. Hence the word perpetual. This continuous metamorphosis never stops. Everything is always changing. Nothing stays constant. The law of perpetual transmutation of energy means that you can also transmute your own energy in order to manifest things you want. If energy is always in motion, you can use this knowledge to move through the different forms of energy to your benefit. An example of this would be to take excitement that you may feel and channel it into creativity. Say somebody makes you angry. Say somebody may have said something that you didn't like, and you feel anger. Take that anger and transmute it, and for instance, go to the gym with it. Go run with it. Go walk it. You know, transmute it into something that you actually can benefit from. You don't just hold it, because you're not supposed to hold it, because it's constantly moving. And if you don't use it in a beneficial way, it's going to eat away at something in your body, and you'll end up with dis-ease. We as alchemists know that we are not going to get rid of energy. It's just going to transmute to something else. But we have the ability, power, and the God mind and Godhood to change it. Then we come to the law of rhythm. Law of rhythm states that everything is cyclical and change is always around the corner. This law can be thought of as the energy that causes a pendulum to swing in constant motion from one end to another. If the law of relativity represents the need to be challenged, then the law of rhythm states is the timing of when these challenges phase in and out of our lives. The law of relativity is to come to teach you something, to help you, to give you a reality check, to test you. That's why I said if it's representing the need to be challenged, then the law of rhythm states is the time when these challenges are going to phase in and phase out. So if you're feeling challenged, know that it's not going to stay. These are the energies. These are the Lord. It ain't just relegated to planet Earth.